everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another speed build. So today we are going to be doing a remodel or a rebuild in a sense of Dear Layla's home from my LP Haywood Gardens. I almost called it Laywood Gardens, which makes no sense, but that's just me. Anyways, so guys, so Layla has been, if you've been following my LP, she does a lot of gardening and whatnot. And so, with doing all the harvesting and selling of the plants and these things, she has actually saved up quite a bit of money. And so, we sold her previous home and several of the items in there, and it was actually quite a bit enough to get us a pretty nice home. So, we actually bought the lot that Brant Hecking and them used to be on, and I was pretty surprised that it was actually pretty affordable. It wasn't too bad. I think it was only like 3,500 simoleons, something like that. But yeah, so the idea that I had for this is that obviously the name of my LP is Haywood Gardens. So Layla is going to have eventually a really large garden. That is kind of one of the biggest goals I have for her. And so I had this idea at first of doing kind of like a cabin, kind of like a log cabin feel, but then I just felt that these dark wood vibes were just too dark for Layla. Like Layla is a very bright and cheerful person, and so she needed to have more color added, and I just wasn't a fan of doing these dark colors. It just didn't seem to suit her. It seemed too dreary and down for her, but I still wanted it to kind of have like a antique and rustic feel to it. So I decided to go with this kind of like a bluish gray for the actual like vinyl siding or wood plank siding, however you want to look at it. I believe it's supposed to be wood plank, but it might be vinyl. I'm not sure. And I wanted to add stone to it because I wanted to kind of give it a rustic barn look. And I've never really done this before and played around. So this build is actually really different for me and definitely a different style and put me outside of my comfort zone, which I loved every minute of it because this is something that just, I don't do it all the time, and I had so much fun with this build, and I was so surprised with myself how well it went. And so regardless, guys, I am going to upload this to the gallery so that you guys can check it out. It will be under my name, CATatoes. I know you would think it would be under Simato, but CATatoes is my other name that I go by. So yes, that will be what it is under on the gallery, so you can download this build. And so I will try to get that posted soon if you guys are interested in checking it out. But yeah, so the roofs here were a little bit tricky for me because like I've mentioned before, guys, roofs are like my worst enemy. Like we just don't get along, and I wanted to do something different with them and make it different. So that's when I decided to kind of do I guess you call it, is it a gabled roof? I don't know. I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to architecture and house terms. But I did add these little columns here just to kind of, add a little bit more of an aesthetic here, kind of like a barn, and then adding more of the stone and adding in this pretend fireplace here just really made the aesthetic look so much better. And I've never actually used those little windows up top on the roof, and I was so excited to finally have something to use them on. And so it was really fun. I couldn't find the best shingle color for the roof. Like I wanted something that was more gray, but everything was either too white or it was too black. And so I just kind of went with this brown because the shingles themselves looked more, I guess, disheveled and that antique look that I was looking for. And adding in things to make the roof situation better. Oh my gosh, like especially when you have a front porch like I did, like I didn't want to have too long of an elongated part here, but I just had to kind of go with it and make it work. So here's where I decided to gable the roofs a little bit. But yeah, so I wanted to really incorporate that stone and then like a lighter wood feel because usually a lot of my builds, I haven't posted a lot of houses that I've done necessarily, and to my gallery at least. And usually when I do house builds, a lot of the time I end up doing like darker woods because just naturally, like in my own home, I have like a dark wood, and that's just something that I prefer. But I am really falling in love with this light color, and it just suits Layla's personality, and it just really comes out. Like, she is a very vibrant person, and I love that about her. Like, she has been such a fun sim to play with, and to just see how her personality, like how it affects everything around her, I just absolutely adore and love it. And guys, I actually really like this wood color here. And I was trying to figure out, this was the challenging part with me on rebuilding this house, is that I guess I wouldn't call it a rebuild because it's totally different. We're remodeling and moving her to a new location. But I was not going to like how the roof was going to turn out there on the back. So I decided to just do this kind of like wooden architecture here to try to make it, look a little bit more spiced up and whatnot. And so I was really excited to finally get around to doing something like this, of this nature. And I wanted to have, like, how people have, like, what do they call them, pergolas on their, like, back patios and things. Like, my parents have one at their house by their pool, and like they're usually gorgeous and I really love them. And I wish we could add like flowers and like vines hanging from this like wooden feature on the back, and that we could add like special lights. Like, I tried to hang lights, but it wouldn't work. So instead, what I decided to do is just to add the like lights that are on the poles in there. And then I loved this part, guys. This was so fun, adding just the shrubbery and wildflowers. Like, oh my gosh, like I love this corner of the exterior of this house. Like, I'm obsessed with this portion of the house. Like, it made me so excited, and it made me want to put like a shed back there, like that you could put like a freaking tractor or something. Like, it just seems so fun. So guys, I do have to admit, like, I don't think I would be too upset or mad if there was a farming pack or game pack that came out, or expansion pack. Like, it could actually be pretty interesting. I was thinking about it and how we have gardening, but like you don't have like corn. Like, I feel like that'd be cool to have like big rows of like corn. Like, I don't know, that could be just me, but I also live in a place that has a ton of corn. So, yeah. And then conveniently, this fireplace thing, like, fit perfectly in this. So, I totally just smashed it on in there. I tried to make sure I had, like, the right color that I felt worked with it. And you know what? It works good. And I was pleased with how it turned out in the end. I do plan on adding a lot more trees and plants and whatnot, but I did start to run out of simoleons, so I will have to just wait till Layla saves up a little bit more from work and that kind of thing. And I did end up having to sell some items from her inventory so that we could finish up the build. But yeah, I added some of the ivy here to kind of give it that, that barn feel, like it's a cottage in the woods. And I love how vibrant the flowers are in The Sims 4. Like, they have done a really good job with these flowers, and I hope that we can start getting some more options too for gardening and things like that, as well as just more trees and colors and things. Like, I think it would be so cool to have more variety. Like, have like the same type of trees, but you have like different positions for all the branches. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, anyway, so on the exterior of the house, I had so much fun. I love decorating exteriors of houses, and here's where I ended up I pretty much brought most of Layla's furniture all to this house with her, so we didn't have to buy any new furniture because that would get expensive. And I love the furniture Layla has. It literally speaks to her, like, aura. I almost said chakra, but guys, this isn't Naruto, and hopefully you know what that is if I mentioned that. But also, my husband got a 3D printer, and it's been really interesting watching it, and like my mind has been blown. Like, I didn't know that you could like do these things like in your own home. But yeah, he made a Ninetales Kurama for me, and it was pretty cool. Though the tail broke off on one of the nine tails, but it's okay. It was a test one, but it took a long time, and he's been making me some Halloween decorations right now, so I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, anyway, so onto this back porch, we brought in a lot of her things that she used to have here, and like the art easel. Yeah, easel. Easel. And then those are the lights that I told you, like, I literally just put poles with the lights there, and it seemed to work. I actually think it's pretty cute. And then going with a lighter wood, it's kind of a mix of like a light and a dark wood, and I really really like that because it really changed it up for me in this house. And Layla's colors, guys, if you don't know this by now, if you haven't been watching my LP, like, Layla's colors seriously are like teal, light blue, and just pastel kind of colors like that. Like they look amazing on her with her hair color, her skin tone, her eyes. Like I absolutely love her with those type of things. And so when it came to doing the kitchen in here, I did after I actually started playing the game, I had to adjust the counters just a little bit, and they are still in the same spots, but I realized the counter next to the stove was kind of away from the fridge and it actually was making it to where she could not use the countertop. So I had to use the BB Move Objects cheat just to move it over just a bit, and then she was able to use it and it was fine. So yeah. And then I decided to implement a little bit more of these, just something different, like these little tables. I don't really know what you call them, but like, they're cute. But anyways, guys, so I feel like I say that a lot. But anyways, sorry. I need to come up with new vocabulary because I'm apparently repeating myself all the time and I have issues speaking today. I feel like I talk too fast and then I like get ahead of myself. Does anyone else have that problem? Or is it just me? It's probably just me, huh? Anyways, so this video is going to get posted while I am out of town on vacation with my familia. And so I am excited to go on a vacation and get a little break and just to be out of the house for a little bit. Also, side note, this was the first time I've ever used debug items. I have heard of debug, but I didn't really know what it was, so I did research, and so I decided to use some of it for the first time, and I was like blown away by how much it was. Like somebody had said online in one of the forums that like it's great for clutter. There's so much clutter, and I didn't know what they meant when they said so much clutter, but I now know, and I am greatly pleased. So, yeah, that was super fun. I'll have to explore into that a little bit more. This living room was so complicated for me to try to figure out. Like, it was, like, I want things centered. Like, my mind like symmetry and like adding this fireplace. I knew I needed this fireplace because the stone is really what just went with the aesthetic of the house, but like getting things arranged was pretty complicated. But I love this like yellow chair and the couch. Like I feel like it's so Layla. It really is. If you guys haven't watched my LP yet, you should definitely check it out. It is called, as I mentioned earlier, Haywood Gardens. And so this is the Haywood home that she is moving into. And so it is quite the upgrade for her from her previous home. And I'm super excited to play in it more and to kind of see what unfolds in it. But yeah, in my LP, it follows the story of Layla Haywood, who is a young girl in her early or not necessarily early teens, but oh my gosh, teens? I don't even know. Oh, okay. Let me start over. It is a girl that is in her mid 20s. I don't know why I was saying teen. She is definitely not a teenager. But, anyways, Layla was raised in the foster care system. Her parents had to give her up at a very young age, right after she was born. And we found out previously in some other episodes some of the tragic events that caused that to happen. So if you guys want to know more, you should definitely go watch my LP. And I hope you guys enjoy it and have fun. I love LPs. I think they're so fun. It's just so different. I like to hear people's creativity and whatnot. Also, I am planning on trying to do a Halloween speed build. I have never done just like a really creepy house, and so I mean, I don't know if it'll be be creepy per se, but like I do want to try. I want to try to do something different. But yeah, so I will have to experiment with that and see if I can get that recorded before I go out of town because I only have about 2 days and I need to start packing and I need to clean my house. But, lo and behold, your girl here is just tired. I got like 2 hours of sleep last night. I just couldn't sleep, and there was a storm, and my brain just wouldn't stop thinking. And yeah, that's just the story of my life. But I am really hoping that I will be able to catch up on some great sleep during my vacation. And then I will be all back and in gear and ready to go. I love Layla's wall of pictures here. I do need to take more pictures of like just people solo and probably do some like group photos and things like that. I need to probably download and install some of those mod pose packs. I haven't really messed with them too much, just because I don't want to like overload my computer with too much because I've got like a lot of custom content and some other mods in play and I just don't want to bear my poor computer down. So yeah. Anyways, so are you guys doing anything fun or exciting for Halloween? I'm curious to know. I honestly am not doing anything. I will be back in town the day before Halloween. So, me doing anything is really like short notice. And plus, I'll probably be handing out candy just for like an hour and then I have to work. So, yeah, I don't really plan on doing much of anything. I do have a bowl of candy for myself. But yeah, I just don't typically do much for Halloween anymore. I mean, now I'm an adult and I ain't got time for that. And the next time I probably will be when I have kids and whatnot. So maybe I'll get there, but we shall see. But yeah, I am really excited for how this build came out. I was so pleased. The bathrooms are always hard for me because I feel like I always end up going with the same type of tile wall and floor, but I wanted to try to do something different, like a brighter color. But there was one, like there's no tile that matches this wall perfectly, and that like drives me crazy. So I just kind of went with like an off color that's like a little bit of a gray. But yeah, this was really fun to just see it come together and have it become more of Layla's flavor. Because I'll be honest with you, when I first started changing the colors and mixing around, like I wasn't 100% sure if it was gonna be for Layla, if you know what I mean. Like I wasn't sure if the style was gonna be her, if it was just gonna be too much. But the more I started to add to it, the more I realized that it was perfect and it was everything that I needed it to be. But yeah, I just tried to add in a little bit of everything and organize my plants just a little bit to make it easier for me to remember where they're at. So fruits and vegetables are in an area and like garnishes and spices and then flowers and the trees and whatnot. But yeah, so this is my build for Layla, the remodel of her home in a new location. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this speed build. Maybe it's inspired you or given you some inspiration for something new. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. You can download it from the gallery as I've mentioned before. Stay tuned after the end of this and you will see the up close pictures from me from the end photo shoot. So yeah, thank you guys so much once again. I will try to get another video posted up here soon and I will catch you guys next time. Just kidding. Bye.